Kim, welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my eyeshadow palette collection. So I don't know if this is also going to be a declutter just because I'm so attached to all my eyeshadow palettes. They're like my babies. So I don't know, I might get rid of a few, but I don't expect there to be a lot of eyeshadow palettes that I'm actually going to get rid of. It might just be some old ones. So I think this is going to be more of like a collection video because I can't part with a lot of these. So if you guys are curious to see what I have in my eyeshadow palette collection, then just keep on watching. I'm going to show you guys right now. My two Anastasia eyeshadow palettes. These have to be some of my favorite eyeshadows. I think everyone loves these because they are just so good. I have the Master Palette by Mario, which I know a lot of people were upset that they didn't get this. And honestly, I think I love Modern Renaissance more. Let me know down below in the comments which you guys like better. I like Modern Renaissance more, but I do still love the Master Palette by Mario. The colors are just so like the perfect neutral tones. This color here, Isabel, is like the perfect crease shade. I did a whole video about a palette that is a dupe for this one. I will link it down below for you guys. It's from Pixie. It's the It's Judy Time eyeshadow palette. I have some comparisons and swatches, so if you guys missed out on this one, you can still get one at the drugstore that's a lot cheaper. But these shades are so buttery and creamy and smooth. Same for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. These colors are just amazing. You can see which ones I like the best, Vermeer and Primavera. And honestly, this palette is like definitely one of my go-tos. I haven't been picking it up too much over the past couple of months just because I feel like I used it so much that I kind of wanted to just use something else in my collection. My favorite shades are Cypress Umber. I love Buon Fresco in the crease. I already told you guys I love Vermeer and Primavera. There is a gorgeous highlighter shade for your face. All these shades, Burnt Orange, Raw Sienna. I love the reds and the magenta shades in here. This is just an overall amazing palette that I think everyone needs to have in their collection. And if anyone ever asks me like to recommend them an eyeshadow palette like from Sephora, this is definitely the one that I recommend going with. Next up, I have my Huda Beauty Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. So I did a whole video on this. Again, I'll link that down below too. But I really like this palette, and you guys can see the tutorial I did with it. I use the textured eyeshadow shades, and I know they're not for everyone. I know a lot of people don't like putting on eyeshadows with their finger. And then there's tons of really nice mattes in here. I still have to play with this palette some more. This one I think I might declutter. This is a Smashbox eyeshadow palette in Sparks is the name of it. So here's what it looks like. I'll show you guys close up. I mean, there's some really pretty shades in here. I was swatching it before, and I think my favorite one is this gold. It is just so soft. Do you guys see that? I feel like just for this gold shade alone, it's worth keeping. The rest of these aren't that great. Like these two right here aren't that great. This one's really pretty too. It's a chromy pinkish gold effect to it. So I have to put this into my daily makeup rotation so I use it a little bit more. But this gold shade, I think I have to keep using it. So I don't think I'm going to declutter this. I don't think I'm going to declutter this eyeshadow palette just because I feel like I need to give it another chance before I get rid of it. So that's why I told you guys this might not be the best declutter video, but I want to give this another shot. It is pretty old. I got this like 2-3 years ago. They don't make it anymore. Here's another eyeshadow palette from Smashbox. So I think I'm going to declutter this one. I was looking at it before when I was taking everything out, and I just feel like these shades, there's nothing special about them. They're kind of basic. I won't use that navy shade, and the rest of them, I don't know. It just doesn't speak to me. It doesn't do anything for me. So I'm going to pass this along to someone who will get some use out of this. Here's a palette that is so old. I've had this for the longest time. I think this is one of my first high-end eyeshadow palettes. One of the first. This is the Stila In the Light eyeshadow palette. This has definitely gotten a decent amount of love. I'm so sad because Kitten is broken, and that's, you know, one of the famous Stila shades. I really love that shade, and I've used Bubbly a lot. I've used this matte brow bone shade a lot. This shade right here I've used a lot. I didn't really use these two or these three down here too much. I kind of just stuck with the neutral brown shades. But I don't know, guys. I don't know if I should keep this or not. I feel like it's past its prime, and the one shade in here that I love, Kitten, is broken. So I'm thinking of passing it along to someone else. I hate to give it up though because I really don't have many Stila eyeshadows. This is like the only one I have. Of course, I have the entire collection of Naked palettes. the Naked, original Naked is like so beat up because this was, I think, my first eyeshadow palette I ever owned, my first high-end eyeshadow palette. And you can see Virgin, Sin, like all these shades, they're just so classic. And that's why I feel like I can't get rid of this, just because it's like one of those palettes that I feel emotionally attached to. And I will reach for this every once in a while. And I just, like I said, I just feel like these are classic shades, like you know them by name and color. So I'm going to keep this. And I have Naked 2. My mirror totally like broke off. And you can see the shades in here that I loved. I loved Foxy and Booty Call, clearly. Half Baked. I love Tease. This definitely got a lot of love from me. So gonna keep this one too because, again, it's just like one of those classic palettes that I reach for sometimes when I don't know what else to wear. And then I have Naked 3, which I think is one of my favorites because it has those pinky toned shades and I love those. And you can see my favorite color in here is Strange. I've gone through 2 of these and I wish they would sell this in a single, but they don't. And it literally makes me so sad. But I love all these shades. I really love this one right here in the crease and this one, just like those perfect neutral colors. This one I got for Christmas. I think my brother-in-law gave this to me actually. I asked for it, but I never ever use it. I mean, it's definitely got those smoky colors in there, but I just don't reach for this. I guess I don't reach for it because I don't really wear smoky eyes too often. It's not like an everyday thing. And then there's no like crease shade in here that I'm obsessed with. Or is there even a crease shade in here? Like, not really. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna keep it because I feel like I've barely used it and the packaging is so nice and I just feel like I like having the entire Naked palette collection. Here's one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. This is from the drugstore, Target. This is the Pixie It's Judy Time eyeshadow palette. I will link my video down below. I did a whole review and look with this palette. These shades are so nice. They're so creamy, really just blendable. I love using all of them and my favorites are this second row right here and it's just like the perfect palette for a neutral look or just like every day. And I think Judy did such a nice job with this palette and it makes me want to try more Pixie products. This I do not use. I think I'm just going to declutter this. It's the Coastal Scents Revealed palette. I think I got this at work a couple years ago when we were doing like a makeup seminar. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with the shades. They're nice shades. I just feel like I have my Naked palettes. I have a lot of my other high-end and neutral palettes. So I think I'm going to just declutter this one and say goodbye to it. Such a random palette. This is the NYC New York Color Demi Lovato Lovatics palette. I got this from Target when Demi launched her collection with New York Color. And it's just like, again, another one of those like Naked rip-off palettes. And they don't even sell New York Color here anymore, which is really sad because I did like some of their stuff. They had really nice bronzers, the liquid liner. This palette I've used a couple of times. The shades are pretty decent. Definitely comparable to the Naked palettes. So I don't know. I guess I'll keep it. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I'm ever really going to use it. That's the thing here. Here's my Flower Beauty eyeshadow palette. This is a really great drugstore eyeshadow palette if you're looking for something that has really nice pigmentation, because I know it's hard to find good eyeshadows at the drugstore. There aren't that many, but this one I did a review on it and I really liked it. I also love that it comes with a really nice brush and it's really good quality, the synthetic fibers on it. So I highly recommend you guys check out this palette if you're looking for something at the drugstore or at Walmart that's going to perform really well. On another note, a not so good drugstore eyeshadow palette is this one. This is the Graffiti Nudes palette by Maybelline. I don't even know why I got this. I think I wanted it for this shade right here. This is a really gorgeous green shade. The rest of them though, I just don't love. The quality is not there. The pigmentation isn't there. There's no like good crease shade in here, so I feel like I have to dip into another palette, which is fine, but I feel like they could have at least included a crease shade in here to make it a little bit easier. I just don't love this palette or any of the nudes palettes. I do want to try though those new Maybelline City Mini palettes and see how good they are, but this one I didn't love. I have this e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette. I really want to get Mad for Matte too. This one, I don't really use it too much. I know some people really like it. I didn't love it. I didn't feel like it was the greatest eyeshadow palette I've ever used, and I just didn't love it. It wasn't speaking to me. The colors I don't think are that great. Like, they feel creamy to the touch. I just feel like they all kind of blend together. A bunch of my Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes. I'm just gonna run through them with you guys. I have Walking on Eggshells. I love that bottom shade. It's like a dupe for one of the MAC shades. This is definitely had its time here on YouTube. It's still a really good palette. I have this one, which looks like it's been through a war zone. This one, I don't know if they sell anymore. What is the name of this? It doesn't even say, but this palette, oh my gosh. Like, can they bring this back? It is so good, you guys. Like, mine's all used up, but they're so creamy. Like, look at that. I loved these two shades. This one I don't love. It's the New Romantics. It was a limited edition eyeshadow palette from Wet n Wild. There's like this purple shade, which actually kind of reminds me of the two highlighters they just came out with. Kind of similar, actually. The purple and the Sweetest Bling, those highlighters. And then this is the Brow Bone shade, which is like a really pretty white shade. Let's see if we swatch it. It's kind of pretty for the inner corner. I guess I'll hang on to it in case I ever want to do like a pink or a purple eye look. The palette that's seen its day here on YouTube. This one was so popular. It's the Silent Treatment palette. So this one was my favorite shade. I definitely use this a ton. Use this shade a lot. Didn't use this darker one too much, but again, just like another classic Wet n Wild eyeshadow trio that if you are looking for something at the drugstore, it's really good. I highly recommend these. This one is another really nice palette. This is the 8 pan. So this is Petal Pusher. It has a ton of like purpley shades. So if you want to do a purple look, I don't do purple too often. I do love purple eyeshadows, but I use this shade a lot right here. This Brow Bone shade's really pretty. And then my favorite has to be Comfort Zone. This one, oh my gosh, this shade right here, this bluish brown shade is absolutely stunning. I love this shade, the green is really nice, the crease shades. The quality of this is just so on point. I really need Wet n Wild to come out with so many more of these. I feel like it's been too long since we've seen a new eyeshadow palette from them. Another really random one, I used this like years and years ago when I first started watching YouTube back in the day. I think X-Teener used this once and I was like, oh my gosh, I need it. I definitely use these shades and I don't really have like this blue or this green anywhere in my collection, so that's why I kept it, because I do like it for a pop of color on the lower lash line. I don't know if they still make this, but if they do, it's pretty decent. And I have my one and only Morphe eyeshadow palette. This is the 35N. I guess it was like one of the popular ones, but this is what it looks like. The shades are nice. Like, this pink is actually really pigmented. I don't reach for this too much. Maybe just because there's so many colors and it makes me feel overwhelmed. I think that's why I don't reach for it. But it is a really good palette if you're looking for something with a lot of colors. I actually think the best purpose for this is if you're like a makeup artist and you're looking for a bunch of colors for a low price point. But then you can also just get like a high-end eyeshadow palette that's going to be really, really amazing for your kit. But if you're just starting out, I think this is a nice eyeshadow palette. I have my two Essence eyeshadow palettes. The first one is all about nudes. I've been testing these out recently. I got them not too long ago, and they're really nice quality. I like the way that it's set up, how shallow the pans are. Like, can you guys see that? These are really nice. I've been wearing this matte shade, this lid shade, and they're overall pretty decent. I don't love them as much as the Pixie ones from the drugstore, but for the price of these, they're really good. I also have All About Roses, which has more of like those rosy tones. I think I like this one more, like the more neutral one. This one I wore one day and I didn't love the way my eyeshadow looked, but I do have to give it another shot. This one wasn't that pigmented. I had to like spray my brush with some Fix Plus. So if you're gonna pick one out of these two, I would definitely get the nudes one. Then I have my Too Faced The Power of Makeup by Nikkie Tutorials palette. I actually am decluttering this. I put it up on my Poshmark, which I guess I can link down below if any of you guys are interested in it. But I never reached for this one too much. I did use it a bit when I first got it, but after that I didn't really use it. The shades are decent. I like Painkiller and Makeup and Chill. I used Wham Bam in a tutorial once, and I don't really like the quality of the blush or the highlighter. Like, it's just okay. There's really not much pigmentation in the highlighter, which stinks. The blush, I'm not going to reach for these. So I'm decluttering this. This is another one of my first eyeshadow palettes. This is the Too Faced Natural Eyeshadow Collection, Neutral Eyeshadow Collection. And I've definitely used this a ton. You can see it's pretty well loved. I know my sister is obsessed with this eyeshadow palette, and I really like Silk Teddy, Heaven, Nudie, Honey Pot, like such a gorgeous gold shade. Bring it a little closer so you guys can see. A lot of these shades are in that new Natural Love palette that I said I wasn't going to buy in my anti-haul. So yeah, this is a really nice palette if you just want something neutral and easy to travel with. And I like the little tin. Then I have my peanut butter and jelly palette. I love this thing. I reach for this a lot. It's, first of all, the cutest thing ever. Like, I just needed to have it. I love the smell of it, and I love the shades. I have my Miss Jen Fabulous palette, the collab Jen did with Ulta. I really love Jen's videos, and I really like this eyeshadow palette. I like Arizona and Guru. Those are my favorite shades. I don't think they sell this anymore at Ulta, but I'm gonna hang on to it because I actually really like this a lot. The Chocolate Bar palettes, I have the first one, which I love. These shades are like classics. They're a mess. This is, what is this one? Semi-Sweet. The cover of it fell off like the day after I bought it, but you can see it is like so scratched up because it didn't have a cover on it. But this is another palette that I really enjoy. I love all these shades. This blueberry one I obviously don't use too much. I kind of just work around it. Pink Sugar I love, but it's so not pigmented. I always have to spray my brush with Fix Plus. Too Faced Sweet Peach. Obviously, I was so excited when this came out, and I love the packaging. I like the peach smell. I have to take it in doses because sometimes it's just too much for me, but I do really like this palette. Even though I don't think I look that great in the peach shades, I feel like they kind of wash me out. Like, I can't wear it all over my lid, but I do really like the colors in here, and I think it is a good quality palette. I know everyone didn't love it, but I actually really liked it. These are two palettes my friend from the UK picked up for me. She lives in the UK. These are MUA Makeup Academy, and I just realized this is the brand that's at CVS, but they don't have these eyeshadow palettes. I just totally like connected those dots right now. This one is Undress Me 2, and this one is Undressed. So these are super, super nice. They're very creamy. That's why I wanted them, because I heard they were so awesome. So if you do like a little swatch, I have to pull these out more. They're pretty nice. You can see right there. And this is Undress, which I think is the original. Just like those neutral, naked kind of shades. I have the Unicorn Love palette from Makeup Revolution. This one's online only, so you won't find it in the store, but it's just the cutest palette. It's like one of those things that you have to have because I don't have anything like this. With this heart, with the jewel, this is like me in an eyeshadow palette. This is one of the Makeup Revolution Chocolate Bar palettes. This is, which one is this? This is Naked Chocolate. So soft. And there's some really nice shimmers in there. So I highly recommend the Chocolate Bar palettes from Makeup Revolution. This one, I don't reach for too much. It's the Makeup Revolution Neutrals vs. Neutrals. It is a nice palette, and I got it because Emily Noel said it was a dupe for the Sweet Peach palette. And there's definitely some nice peachy shades in there. I just have to try it out. Like, for some reason, I'm just not drawn to it. I have this little Milani guy right here. This palette, oh my gosh, it is so nice. Like, I love this shade, they're all really nice. You have like a really nice matte brown right here. So if you're looking for something at the drugstore, again, this is a really nice option. This is in 02 Bare Necessities. Palette is Dose of Colors Ice Cream Palette. This is sadly discontinued. I got it at IMATS at a discount. These shades, I'm so excited to play with them more this summer. They're so pretty. I can't wait to use this mint chip one right here. Here's another palette that I just love. It's the Too Faced Christmas in New York eyeshadow palette. I love this thing. I feel like it didn't get enough love on YouTube. Like, these shades, Honey Lavender, Praline, Champagne Rose is my favorite, like especially for highlighting. Gorgeous highlight shade. I just love these colors. This is just a palette of a bunch of different eyeshadows, like MAC ones. I keep all my Makeup Geek ones in here. I have a baby size Makeup Geek collection that I definitely want to grow. I want to get more Makeup Geek shadows because her single shadows are awesome. And I don't really get MAC shadows too much anymore. I used to be so into them. There's nothing wrong with them. They're really good. I just kind of stopped buying them because palettes became so popular. This is like e.l.f. over here. This is my first MAC eyeshadow ever. This is Pink Venus, but I never wear it because it makes me look sick. Oh, these right here are just some NYX ones, and I think these are all MAC right here. This is my OG MAC eyeshadow palette. Oh my goodness, this is like memories right here. Stars and Rockets, one of my favorite colors ever that I've been using for years. This one I clearly loved. Yeah, this is Naked Lunch. Star Violet, such a pretty color. This is kind of just like a memory kind of palette for me. I definitely still use it, not as much. I have the Swamp Queen palette in here, the Graveyard Girl Tarte collab. I love the way this smells. I think this was my first eyeshadow palette that I got from Tarte, believe it or not. And I wore this highlighter shade as my eyeshadow color the other day. It was really pretty, and I wore this in my crease. One of my favorites, the Tarte in Bloom eyeshadow palette. If you guys don't have this one, this should be in your collection. Another perfect neutral eyeshadow palette. I think my favorite shade has to be Sweetheart. That one right there. A bunch of my stuff from BH. Where's my Shan palette? This is the Marble palette. I wore this yesterday because I wanted to try it out a bit more. I really like the shade down here for the crease. And I had to get it because the Marble was so pretty. This pink is not that great. Some of them are a little bit flaky, but for the most part, they're pretty nice. So if you're looking for a nice palette from BH, I like this one, but I love the collab ones more. Like the Missy Lynn one is a really good one. I used this shade a lot for a minute. I like this one right here. This is similar to the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette from Too Faced. Found it. Here's the Shan XO palette. So this is the lip side. Whoopsie. This is what I meant to show you guys. This is the eyeshadow palette. Okay, this shade I've tried to wear in my crease and it looks weird on me. It's almost like too orangey, which sounds weird. I don't know. But I love all these shades. Really nice blendable neutrals. Then I have the OG Carly Bible palette, which mine looks crazy. I've used it a lot. I guess I'll keep this even though I have the new one because it's like my baby. It's gone now in place of this one, the Carly Bible Deluxe Edition. So pretty. I've been using this palette all month. It's definitely one of my monthly favorites. And I love all the eyeshadow shades in here. I think they're really nice quality. There is a decent amount of fallout, but just like tap off your brush and you're fine. This is one of my favorites. This is the Morphe Kathleen Lights palette. I haven't used it in a bit. I have to whip it back out again, but love all these shades. I love Kathleen Lights too. So this one I love all over the lid. This like shimmery white color. This is such a good palette. I don't know if this is still in stock, but all these shades are just really nice. The green is like a little bit random. I haven't really played with that one too much. It might be nice for a pop of color. We're almost done. I have two from Violet Voss. This one is, which one is this? This is the Holy Grail. I love this palette. Another amazing neutrals palette to have in your collection. Same with the Laura Lee. So this is another Violet Voss palette I have. Love this palette, you guys. Like, these shimmers are out of this world. Like, so good. I love Tickled Pink, Smashly, Basic. Love this palette. If you have a chance to get it, definitely get it. The shades are really nice quality. I have my Lorac palettes. So I have the original one, which, can you tell that I use this a lot? Like, cream is gone. I love taupe. Light pink is gone. Mauve, completely gone. These two shades are almost gone. I actually should get a new one of this. And then I have Lorac 2, which I use, but not as much as I use the original one. So Buff is gone. I love this shade right here, Beige. I'm like losing my voice, you guys. This is crazy. I don't use navy. I'm not like into those navy blue shades, but I really like this palette. Nectar is like one of my favorite crease shades ever. Then I have my Lorac Mega Pro 3 palette, which got all stained because the packaging, while it's beautiful, the white makes a mess. I love the rose gold though. Like the mama of all neutral palettes, just because I love the quality of Lorac eyeshadows. They're amazing. Like one of my favorite high-end, if not my favorite high-end eyeshadows. They are so soft, buttery to the touch, and yes, pigmented. The word of the day. Can't wait to get next year's version of Lorac Mega Pro palette. Guys, that was my whole eyeshadow palette collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to film this for a while, so I'm really glad I had a chance to show you guys everything in my collection. Let me know down below which palettes you are loving, which eyeshadow palettes you're loving. And yeah, I really did not declutter that much. I only decluttered 3 palettes. I told you guys I was going to be so bad at this. This is all I decluttered. I feel ashamed, but I told you guys I'm so attached to my eyeshadow palette collection. It's hard to get rid of stuff. So anyways, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and in the meantime, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.